I know that at the core of who I am as an individual, I need to stay steadfast. And that says a lot, you know? And so, you know, when you're gonna lead people or lead an organization, you have to be able to have some form of backbone to something. Because if you can't stand for one thing, then you can't really stand for anything. Is interesting because, you know, I'd like to think that, you know, I was in the right place at the right time, but I was quite tenacious. I don't know what it was as a young person. I just felt that, I don't know, I felt comfortable swimming upstream. What I find is employees will put up with a lot of things. They really put up with a lot of things. The workload, they sometimes put up with the inefficiencies of a manager. Sometimes they'll put up with the supervisor not being the most qualified, right, to supervise the work. The manager's not the most friendly or caring person to manage the task at hand and to govern, so to speak. However, when it comes to a duplicitous leader, someone who's really speaking through both sides of their mouth, or someone who doesn't do the follow through, or someone who's not really committed to the work or their people, or to be a servant of either the customer, the client, or the employee, they don't put up with that so well. And those days are numbered. And you will find resistance. You know, you'll find the employee group will resist. And so it's important that the leadership has a fundamental structure or foundation for them to really, you know, project, as well as change sometimes the trajectory of the environment. You know, I've often said, you know, I can tell a lot about someone's leadership or the organization by speaking to their employees. You know, there's times when leaders don't know what the employees are saying, good, bad, or different. And I think it's important. If you cannot say in all certainty that no matter what, my managers or my staff or my supervisor, my frontline folks know where they stand with me, good, bad, or indifferent, they do know, then I would seriously question your leadership, because they need to know. I mean, that's one way of doing it. They need to know. The coaching process is pretty simple. There's a few ingredients we want to make sure we add to it, but the real work comes with the individual doing what is necessary to be an effective leader. For us, it's really applying a tried, tested, true method that Changed My Life Coaching incorporates in the coaching process. And then it's for us to then go and find out from the individual person, you know, what is the best method to help them to get the desired state, because that's what we want for them. At the end of the day, you know, we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't want that. As a chief operating officer, you know, I've been exposed to a lot of things, and I'm able to leverage some of that discipline and method and ideology and practical application and theoretical processes and share that and get into specifically what is going to work for that individual. Sure, it's easy to come up with a program. We could say, listen, do these 5 things, do these 10 things, do these 1 or 2 things, and here's what it's going to get you close, absolutely, but it doesn't get you all the way. The coaching is fundamental to understand you as an individual, to understand your current obstacles and challenges, and then to understand what type of environment are you able to execute or you're living in so we can get you to that desired state. It's about the results. And again, if you can't get to what finished looks like, you will know why. No matter what it is, you will know why. And you will know what it takes to get to finish. And it may not be for everyone. Sometimes we find in this process, someone may realize that leadership is not for them. and that should be okay. As well as sometimes you find that someone is willing to do what it takes to make sure they are that leader, that to make sure that, you know, they're also keeping in mind and have a clear vision for their people, their product, and their equipment. You know, and I think most leaders want that. Why would you do leadership? You know, most people don't realize it's lonely, right? It's lonely on the top. And the reason why it's lonely on the top is because, you know, sometimes we think about other things. We're thinking about today, tomorrow, yesterday, and next year, all sometimes at the same time. And so working with me really allows them to understand we can think about those things and we could work in some of those things, but what we can't do is all of them at the same time. It does not make sense. We cannot rush the process. We cannot rush, you know, development. We have to fundamentally come back to applying a method, a structure, built from a foundation, and measure it. Success is possible. Coaching is possible. Getting to a better state is possible. And we're going to get you there.